Hello. So I am live and I'm going to do a glitter geode tumbler for you guys. I did it yesterday in my group, my Facebook group. If you're not part of it, it is um, DIY crafting and more with Ashley Jones Creates. It's on Facebook. It's all kinds of crafts, all kinds of awesome people. So I went live yesterday with this and everyone loved it. So I decided that I was going to go live on YouTube and show all of you how to do it here. So the one that I made yesterday, I did this one. This is a 30 ounce uh, hog skinny tumbler. So I did this last night. This is the one that I showed in my group. So today I'm going to show you how to do that, how I do it. Use some alcohol inks and then some chunky glitters, and then I am going to coat that one in epoxy and show you how I coat my chunky glitters with quick coat, and or you can use polycrylic. It just really helps when you have chunky glitter on a cup. It really helps to lay that glitter flat and make it easier to epoxy so you don't have to use a gallon of epoxy on chunky glitter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip you down. I'm going to show you, you're going to get a view of my workstation so you can see what I'm doing with this cup, and then I'm going to grab my glitters and we will get started. So if you are watching, let me know that you're here. Say hi. Let me know if you can hear me. Hopefully we'll have some people hop on and come chat with us. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, then we're just going to hang out and make a cup. This is my first cup tutorial, so go easy on me. I always thought I wasn't going to make cups because I didn't want the glitter and I didn't want the everything that goes along with it. And now I have more glitter than I can even think of what to do with. And I've made a ton of cups and I've done a bunch of things, so we're getting there. We're figuring it out. They've turned out well. So Brittany's laughing at me. She commented she's laughing at me because she knows how much glitter I have. So I'm gonna flip you around. I have you on my Archon mount, which is amazing. If you do live streams or anything recorded, Archon mount is the way to go. It is so awesome. I'm gonna turn you around, get you adjusted. See which way we need to go here. There we go. That looks good. We'll get you level here. Maybe. Alright. Sorry, I know it's shaky right now. It's because I gotta tighten this grip here. Hey, Corinne. Thanks, Natasha. I try. I feel like I'm that person that just dives into everything. I really shouldn't because it's getting overwhelming. I'm running out of room. My girls last night said that I should build a guest house on our property and just make it the craft house because that's about where I'm going. Alright, so I'm just going to lay some parchment down. Parchment catches glitter really well and it slides off really easy so you can put it back in the jar. So the things you're going to need for this is you're going to need your cup. So this is the cup I'm doing. It is I believe it's a hog. Yeah, this is a hog 17 ounce soda can cup. And what I already did with this, because I didn't put a base coat of glitter and I put a base coat of mica powder. So I did a pearl mica and epoxy on it. So you can see the shimmer there. And we're going to put the geode over it. So you need your cup, and then you're going to need some Mod Podge, which I'll pour into a smaller cup. I just used the gloss finish. You're going to need your chunky glitters. So I'm going to use a few different ones. I have this blue, kind of a bluish purple color shift. And then, because I need to do a blue and green geode here, so I'm going to use some alcohol inks. Here's my alcohol inks. And then you're going to need, how I do it, based on what a geode looks like, the middle of it is darker, and it goes from dark to light. So what I do, which you can see in this one, I do glitter, chunky glitter in the middle, and use the alcohol ink on the chunky glitter in the middle, and then I go with a lighter, chunkier glitter, and then a white, and then I line it with either silver or gold. So, I did with it all alcohol inks, like the same chunky glitter, and then kind of blend the colors with the alcohol inks, but I didn't particularly like it, so I did it this way with different colored chunky glitter. You can do it either way you want. If you want to use just one color of the chunky glitter and just use different colors of the alcohol ink, you can. Mine kind of blended all together and looked a little crazy, so I didn't do it again. I think we'll use this one. This is a super pretty Geode Luster from Nola Craft Culture. I know this is my friend Tasha's favorite color. Well, one of many, because we're all slightly obsessed now. So I have blue and green, and we need something with some white. You might hear my children outside. It's super nice here, finally, so they are outside playing on the deck. And my window is open in here. This one's pretty too. So you might hear them if you do that. I promise they're not crazy. They're just super excited that it's nice enough to go outside and not need a coat. So, like yesterday, we needed coats. We had a fire in our fireplace last night because it was cold. And then there's today, which is warm. So I'm going to use that for my white portion. I'm just looking for more chunky greens or blue glitters. See what we have. I'm sure we have options. I'm sure of it. It would be a little crazy if we didn't. A little crazy. Let's see. Also, if you hear my kids come in here, it's just because the only time they tend to talk to me during the day is when I'm trying to do a video. So this is pretty. We're gonna go with these. This green, we'll go with this blue, and that blue, and white, and silver. That green. I need another green chunky glitter. I don't think I have many greens, which is kind of weird. Unless it's neon, which I don't think would look great. Natasha, have you been working on cups lately? Have you been working on anything new? Might have to do green alcohol ink. There's all kinds of glitters here. I have so many options. If I wanted to dig through them all and possibly have a glitter avalanche, I could, but I'm not sure they want to do that. So that is close to this color, I think. Well, those, I think, different enough that we can go with it. So that's what we'll do. Okay, so we're going to have our glitters, get our alcohol inks, get our Mod Podge, our foam brush, and hey, Leela, thanks for coming on here. Thanks for joining and watching. You guys make it much easier to go live because if you chat with me, I have something to talk about. Going live is a little intimidating for sure, but we get through it. We have a good time. Okay. I have my colors. I'm going to grab my alcohol inks and move my glitter out of the way. Now, like I said, there's a lot of different ways to do these kind of cups. This is just the way that I prefer. You don't have to do it this way. You can do it with all alcohol inks if you want. I kind of like it this way. I just kind of like how the different chunky glitters look when you do it. Hi, Alex. Thanks for sharing the video for me. Alright, so I'm going to grab foam brush, some Mod Podge, put it in a small cup so I'm not mixing glitter in my bottle, in my jar. Now, like I said, I did already put a base coat on this cup because I didn't glitter it. I have one that has glitter on the bottom, and I have one that's going on a mica base. This one's going on a mica base, so I already did that. You can see if I put it in the right spot. It is shimmery. I used a pearl there. So I have that one, and then this is the glitter base. This is the one that I did yesterday. So I'm going to put epoxy on that after I show you how to put the quick coat on it. So I am going to work with this one first and show you how to do the geode. Now with my glitter base, I just did a layer of Mod Podge and then an ultra fine white glitter for this one, and then sealed it with the Mod Podge acrylic sealer, the spray. Grab it. I sealed it with this after I put the glitter on it because I noticed that when I used the alcohol inks on the ultrafine glitter, the alcohol inks would run away, like out from where the Mod Podge was. So I used this as an experiment for a different one I did, and I put the ultrafine on there. I put the Mod Podge, put the ultrafine, and then once the Mod Podge was dry, I sprayed it with this, let this dry, and then did my geode. So that helped keep the glitter where it needed to be. It definitely made a difference in my opinion. So, hi Tammy, thanks for hopping on. Put some Mod Podge in there. You don't need a lot. We're not going to use a ton of it. So, put that away. Open our glitters and kind of get a direction of where we're going here. All kinds of glitter options. I try and keep it all on the paper. I mean, I have this probably the best sparkliest carpet in the craft room ever, but I don't think other people enjoy this sparkly glitter carpet very much. So, okay. We have inks. We have glitter. We have Mod Podge. We have the cup. We are ready to go. I use the Tim Holtz alcohol inks. I like the color that they have. I buy mine from 651 Vinyl, which I can put a description in the description box once we're done. So you can go there and check out what they have. Right now, due to, you know, the awesome corona, they are not shipping at this very moment. They are staying safe at home, but once they get back up and running, they will soon be back to their 24-hour ship time, which is awesome because you can order and have your goodies delivered super quick. So I'm going to do this here. All right. Oh, Mackenzie, good. I'm glad that it's like great, perfect timing here. All right, so if you missed any steps, Mackenzie, you'll be able to see it in the playback. So here's my cup base, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my foam brush. I'm going to make sure you're in the right camera view. I'm going to use my foam brush, and I'm going to start with the middle, and I'm going to basically form the shape of the geode. So I am going to go here, and all you have to do is kind of put it in almost like a triangular shape on there. just like that. I mean, it really doesn't matter how your Mod Podge is on there. It kind of can go a little haphazardly. It's okay. No geode is perfect. So I'm going to do this, and that's going to create my center. Now what I'm going to do for this cup is I'm going to put a pretty big one here, and then I'm going to put a pretty big one going the opposite direction on the other side, because it's a skinnier cup. It's a little smaller, so I don't want something too big. So this is going to be my center color, which is a color that I always start with, and I always make it the darkest. So I'm going to start with my green, and I'm just going to put my green chunky glitter on there. And you're going to see that there may be some white spots, but for me, that's why I use the alcohol ink, because I can fill that in. Grab a brush so I can brush off that extra glitter, so it doesn't go, well, it wouldn't make too much of a difference if it went on our next layer, because our next layer is green, but we're going to move it anyway. So we're going to just brush this off, and then that's your first layer. So that's my center. And then before that Mod Podge is dry is when I want to use my alcohol ink. So since this is green, I'm gonna do the limeade color of alcohol ink. They have darker, but I mean, this is gonna give it a good contrast. You'll see that when you add that, it's just gonna kind of fill it in, give it a little bit of a different color. Now since this one has already been epoxied and it's not just loose glitter underneath, if it does pull away like that, you can clean it off. All you have to do is wipe it. So this one's a little easier to kind of keep it under control without having it seep under your glitter. So just dry it, and then it's not going to make much of a difference under your next color because you're really not going to see it. If it dries too fast and you really need it to move, you can just take some rubbing alcohol and rub that on there, and that's going to take it off. So we're going to put this down so we can switch our glitters out here. And you can see, like the way I do it, I don't use a ton of alcohol ink. I kind of just use it to darken the colors a little more. There's so many different ways you can do it. This is just the way that I prefer to do it, which to me there is no right or wrong way. It's all about your preference. So now we're going to do the next layer. Now, I won't use any more alcohol ink on this spot. I only used it for that, just so it can kind of really give it a full, dark, deep color. And if, like this one, you can see has some spots that aren't completely filled in. If you want, once your Mod Podge dries, if you want to go in and add another layer, you definitely can. Mod Podge is very friendly about that. So going to take my foam brush again, and I'm just going to go around the outside with the Mod Podge, just like this. It does not have to be perfect by any means whatsoever. There is nothing perfect about a geode other than the fact that it's gorgeous. These cups are super popular right now. There's just a ton of different ways you can do it. You can line it with a paint pen once it's dry. Those look super pretty too. Like I said, like to do mine with just the different colored chunky glitters because I have about 10,000 of them, so why not? My friends can verify that one for you. So this one, it's a little bit different. It's a little different green color. It's not super light compared to the first, but it has a different, it has a different texture and color shift in it. So we're going to do that, and we're going to add that to the middle. Again, don't worry about this because my cup is epoxied. That's why it's getting kind of stuck, but that's okay. It will come off. We'll clean it off. I use rubbing alcohol. You won't want to use acetone to clean that part off because if you do, it can dull your epoxy in that spot. So I just use some rubbing alcohol, which I know is really hard to find right now, but lots of us have it. Now we're going to go with our white layer. Brush this off just a little because the next layer is white and I don't want to mix it too much. I think this would be really cool in maybe like a rainbow geode. Could do that. That would be pretty. You could make the geode go up the whole cup. That would look cool too. So now my next layer for this cup is going to be white. So I'm just going to add my Mod Podge here, just like that. Tasha, yeah, I'm using your favorite one. The one that was out of stock forever that we couldn't find. Well, you couldn't find till she sent you some because they are awesome down there at NOLA Craft Culture. That second color is the Emerald Luster. Emerald Luster, I think it's called. Emerald Geode Luster. So see, it even has geode in the name. It was meant to be. This one is Olaf from Glitter Heart Co. This just gives it that white outline. Just like that. The cool part about geodes is just the layers that they have. Everything, they're just super pretty. I love real ones. The real geodes in the rock that you find, they're just so pretty. So it's a lot of fun that you can kind of recreate this on a cup. Put that back in the turner. And then we're going to go with our silver layer, and then you will do the blue one. Tasha, I'm probably quiet because any other time I talk on a video, I feel like I'm screaming. So that might be it. If it doesn't get any better, I'll try and talk louder. Just let me know if it helps. So I'm going to do the silver part. Now, I used a really chunky silver for this. And I did it on the cup that I made last night, and it looked super pretty. I would say the popular colors for stuff like this are silver or gold. So these two cups wanted silver, so I'm going with silver, and I use a very bright and shiny silver. And I can link in the description once I'm done the places that I get my glitter from. There's a few different ones. They all have great glitter options. I will post those when we're done. I think this quarantine has made me buy more glitter at one time than any other time. Yeah, I just can't stop. And it's bad because I'm out of room, so we can see there. Put the silver all over that Mod Podge, shake it off. It's kind of static clinging to the cup. I think that's what's happening. Sticking to the epoxy. Staticky. Just brush it off. Surprisingly, you would think it takes a lot of glitter, but it really doesn't. I really am not using a whole lot. By the time I dump it back in the jar, it doesn't look like I used any, really. So you can see there, that's our green geode. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put a blue one. You can see the green one kind of comes right there. So I'm going to put a blue one going down this way. So there's one on each side. So we're going to go ahead and switch to the blue glitters. I'm not sure if, well, one on a computer. Tasha, are you on your computer or your phone? Probably your phone, right? Or are you crafting in your craft room watching on your computer? Maybe it's a difference between computer or phone volume. I'm not sure. So my blue glitters I'm using are from Glitter Craze as well. So I'm going to use Just Beachin' from Glitter Craze. I'm going to use the same white, which is Olaf from Glitter Craze. And then I am going to use this one. It's called Blues Brothers from Love All Bling. This one's kind of a purpley blue color shift. I don't know if you can see it shift in there. It's really pretty. Depending on how you look at it, it's either purple or blue. So lots of dimension there. I think will look really pretty for the center of this geode, for this blue one. It's time consuming for me because I have to keep switching my parchment paper because I don't want to just get rid of all the glitter that I'm dropping. That would be a whole lot of glitter that I lose, but so that's, for me, that's the time consuming part, is cleaning up the glitter and put it back in the jar, but it's okay. Like I said, this is my first tumbler video, so there's so many different ways to do basically every tumbler. This is just the way I do it. There are plenty of other ways to do these geodes, like I mentioned in the beginning. You can do all alcohol inks, you can do fine glitters, you can do all kinds of stuff. This is just the way I prefer to do it, so this is the way I like how it turns out. There's that middle part there. I'm gonna brush all the non-blue glitter parts off. I don't know if we'll need any alcohol ink in this one, maybe, but maybe not. That looks pretty. I think we'll add a little bit. We'll do Aquamarine, just a little in the middle to give it really deep blue color. Make sure you can see that. When I made my first Geode Tumbler, it was the very first time I ever used alcohol inks, and I was terrified. My friend, my dear friend Tasha, who's watching, she's like, I want a geode. I'm like, I've never done that before. I'm nervous to do it. And then I made it and got 2 more orders. So it must have looked okay. She likes it. So that's a plus. That's all that matters, is the customer's happy. I'm going to grab my next color, which is going to be the lighter blue. So you can see my alcohol ink kind of ran under there, which is, it's okay because the next color is blue, so I'm not too concerned. The next color is blue. It'll kind of just help the color a little bit, which is okay. One thing I've noticed is sometimes your foam brush will pick up the alcohol ink in your Mod Podge. If it does, you might want to brush it off so you're not adding blue Mod Podge under where your white layer would go. If you want it, you can. I don't. You can see my Mod Podge is a little thick there, which is okay. It's just going to take a little longer to dry. Since it's not a fine glitter, you're not going to be able to tell too much, and it'll really give that chunky glitter a good hold. Go with this one. Oh, you're using your cup now, Tasha? I'm so glad you like it. It only sat at my house for a month before I sent it to you. So just add that chunky on there, brush it off. That. If you have any questions about anything I'm doing or using, feel free to ask me. Everything's pretty, I mean, it's pretty easy. Just kind of wipe that excess glitter off. I just stick it back in the turner while it's waiting there. So what I'll do when I'm done with this one is I will switch your view a little. I'll just move you over so you can see my turners. I'm going to epoxy the cup that I did yesterday, and then once I'm done with that, the Mod Podge should be dry enough underneath this one that I can show you how to use the Quick Coat from Counterculture DIY and put it over your chunky glitter to help it lay flat and to help use less epoxy when you put it over. This chunky glitter this is what I'm using. Chunky glitter is notorious for using a lot of epoxy when it's put on real thick. So Tasha, I did use Fast Set for the layer of epoxy on the pearl. I mixed the pearl in with the Fast Set last night, so it was cured and ready to go for today, which, I mean, I could have done this last night because it was dry and ready to go about 3 hours after I put the Fast Set on, but I'm not concerned with the fact that the cup is white because it's going to get a layer of artist resin on top of it, which has the UV inhibitors in it, so it will prevent the yellowing. But because it's a pearl mica, it kind of already has that gold shimmer to it. So if there was any yellowing of that, you wouldn't notice it too much. So that's why I used the Fast Set underneath it. Normally on a white glitter cup, I would not use that, just because I believe it's, Counterculture says that it, like in extreme circumstances, in extreme temperatures, and extreme environments, that the Fast Set can amber faster. I haven't experimented with that because I don't think I have any extreme environments up here. So I haven't tested that to see, but I know some people in that Facebook group have, so you can go, if you're not in the Counterculture DIY artist support group, you can go there and see what they have to say for Fast Set. Once I got it, I don't think that I'll ever go back to using anything else to build my cup layers, because it is really a game changer for me, because I don't have to wait 2 days before I do something. You know, I can get a cup done almost from start to finish in 1 day. Tasha, pay attention to what you're doing, woman. I can get a cup done, all my layers built up from my single glitter layer to, you know, my chunky glitter on the bottom or throughout the cup, and then add a decal and then coat with the artist resin. I can get that done in almost a day, as long as I start, you know, early in the morning, because it only takes a couple hours for that Fast Set to dry before you can add your next layer, which is amazing. It's definitely a game changer, especially for me, because these kids I got here, they don't always cooperate with an all-day crafting excursion, so they aren't always on board with that one. Today they're not too bad, because like I said, it's super nice out here today. Up here, I swear we go from snow to mosquitoes. It's literally insane. Snow melts and the mosquitoes come like within a week of each other, so it is what it is. Part of living in the northern Midwest, I suppose. I'm gonna do my last layer, and it's kind of gonna, it's gonna look cool, because this one goes up here, and then this one will go down on the other side. So I like how it's looking so far. We'll see how it goes. Then I will, like I said, if you're not in my Facebook group, which is DIY Crafting and More with Ashley Jones Creates, make sure you join that group, because I will post finished pictures once they're done and epoxied. I will post finished pictures of that in there. I'll post both of them. If I'm not turning into a TikTok video, because that's become the newest obsession. TikTok is a dark rabbit hole of awesomeness. Like, every night, it keeps me up, because I just sit and watch it, and it's difficult to stop. And if you have TikTok, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. But it's awesome. It makes you laugh. So, you know what? Laughter is good for the soul, so I'm okay with it. I am okay with it. Alright, so this is our last color, so I'm not too concerned about picking it up. So this silver is like, it's called Friendly Foil Confetti, and it is like ridiculously pretty. I really want to like put this on a whole cup, but I don't want to use it all, so I'm kind of torn. Like, I want to put it on a whole cup, cover the whole cup in this silver glitter, but then I don't want to, because I don't want to use it all. So, crafter's dilemma, Crafter's Dilemma. Right, Natasha? That's from NOLA Craft Culture. I don't know if they have it still, but I don't even know when I got it. It might have been one of those boxes, monthly boxes, but it's pretty. I might have got it last June when I was there. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been sitting here because that's how most things go in this craft room. They sit here and I forget that they are here. I'm just going to kind of clean this up a little bit. I'm going to add some more Mod Podge right there. Get some more silver to stick. I think the best thing that I've learned since making tumblers, you know, because I, like everybody else, turned to YouTube to learn how to do it, to get the basics. I joined about 500,000 groups on Facebook to learn, to see what people were doing. And I think the thing that I love most about it is people are usually pretty friendly. You know, this little things like tumblers or crafts or whatever bring people together. And what I've just seen in, you know, in the groups and in everything, we're all out to support each other. Like, I can do this video and someone who does other geodes might not have thought to do it this way, or might not have wanted to use all chunky glitter, but then they might. So it's all about preference, and it's all about your own sense of creativity, which I love. So I'm going to clean this up now, and then I'm going to move you over so you can see my turner, so I can epoxy the cup from last night. I do let my quick coat sit for 24 hours. I'm looking here to see if it says that. So it just says allow it to dry to the touch before applying another coat. You can use a fan or heat gun to speed up the dry time if you want. I used quite a bit of it to get that glitter to sit, so it was last night, so I just let it sit overnight. It was one of the tumbler groups that I learned that hack in to use the quick coat or the polycrylic. It doesn't matter which one you use. I have both, and the quick coat's just a little more accessible at the moment, so I'm going to use that. Get lids on all these glitters before I spill them, because that will happen. When I don't pay attention to what I'm doing, my glitter always spills. It's great. Okay. Now, my tumbler station is nothing for the eyes, for sure. It's kind of messy, but that's because it gets used often and is well loved, so don't mind the glitter mess that's there. I have brown craft paper there to protect my desk because I didn't want to get it on my desk. I like to use like the plastic table covers too from Dollar Tree or Walmart. Alright, so you're going to shake a bit while I move you over here to get you the right angle for you to see. Good. So we're gonna, look, I can zoom. Look at that. I didn't know you could zoom on YouTube. Alright, so I'm gonna mix my epoxy. I'm gonna get these spinning. Help that Mod Podge dry a little longer. This one is dry. You can see here, like, it kind of mats down that glitter, that chunky glitter, but it doesn't take the sparkle away from it. So the chunky glitter, if you don't put the polycrylic over it, it flakes and like you'll spread it all over the place. So the chunky glitter and the polycrylic combo really help. So since I'm not putting a decal or anything on here, I'm going to use my artist resin. This is also from Counterculture DIY. I've used a lot of different epoxies, and I kind of like them all. This is my newest, so I've been doing some more experimenting with it to see how everything turns out. No, hold on, I'll close my window because you probably hear the train. Is that better, Alex? I closed the windows. There's a train going by. It might have caused some static issues. I don't have a microphone. I can probably invest in one if I need it. So, I tend to over-mix epoxy. I usually mix more than I need, but then I put it in a mold or something. I don't ever waste it. But I would rather mix too much and then have to use it for another project than not have enough. So I'm going to do 25 cc's of both part A and part B of the artist resin for this first cup. And by the time I'm done mixing that and then spreading it on there, the other one should be dry enough to add the polycrylic. And we'll be done. Jamie, I see what you popped on. Do you see your other cup? Do you see Logan's cup? I like it. I like the green and the blue. I think the green side might be my favorite though. Alex, make sure you tell me to get off if I'm cutting it too close to our call time. I know we got just over 15 minutes. I should be done by then. Or I will be done by then. We're just going big today. We're doing lives, we're making phone calls, we're doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Lots of fun. And I've gotten lucky, knock on wood. I probably shouldn't say it. I really probably shouldn't say it, but I've got one kid napping. The other two are either playing outside or back to YouTube in the living room. Not watching me, I'm quite confident. But they've stayed quiet. I'm really surprised. I kind of figured this live would be a live consisting of one of my children coming in talking to me the entire time. So I like to use these metal, where am I at? There. These metal stir sticks. They are cocktail, I think they're cocktail stirring sticks. I like to use these for my epoxy. They're nice and small so you can get in the grooves of your cup. And they work pretty well. They don't give you too many bubbles unless you stir it too fast. Oh look, I'm blurring you. Zoom in, auto focusing. There you go. So normal epoxy mixing procedure. I'm gonna mix slow, mix it until it goes clear. The faster you mix, the more bubbles you get. To me, I kind of just stir it because I use a heat gun, or you can use a torch to get those bubbles out once you spread it on your cup. So it doesn't concern me too much. So I'm not worried about it. All of the cups I've used so far, even if I spread this epoxy on with a ton of bubbles in it, none of my cups show bubbles in them, so it's okay. Oh, thanks, Alex. She's gonna give me a 5-minute warning, which is in about 10 minutes, so we should be good. Have a Zoom meeting. So much fun. Big things happening, big things. Alex, have you used your Archon mount yet? That's what I'm using here. That's how I can see comments, because I'm recording with my phone. And then I have my iPad on the stand, so it's super convenient because I don't have to touch anything. I really like it. It was definitely worth the purchase. So on the side of my $9 tripod. Oh, good. I need to figure out an app that I can use when I go live with my iPad and my phone, because I have the switcher for when you record, but I don't know if it works when you're live. I don't think it does. So the best part about these metal sticks, when I'm done mixing my epoxy, I just take a baby wipe and wipe it off. If I forget to do that, which is often, and then I set it down on my mat without wiping it off, then I just stick it in a cup with some acetone, and the dried epoxy comes right off of there. So also not concerned about that one. Alright, so we're gonna get some epoxy in here. Oh, the Switcher app works for YouTube? Or when you go live? I didn't know that. I thought it only worked when you are recording. I'll have to look into it. Look at that. See, it's still, even with the polycrylic on this chunky glitter, it's still nice and sparkly under this epoxy. Some people might watch this and go, holy cow, she's using a lot of epoxy, but you know what, like, I don't like this unevenness. Can't do the unevenness, so the way I tend to get it done is a lot of epoxy. But I've learned some tricks to make it so your cups aren't, you know, 4 inches thick in epoxy, so it works out. Facebook, you can see the comments. Oh, well that's good. So maybe I need a third outlet to read comments. I can use the iPad and the iPhone as a switcher and then read the comments on the computer. Yes, Alex, so this one that I did last night, after I got off the live and it was dry, I used Quick Coat, which is a what is it? It's a urethane sealer. It's just from the place that I get it from, but you can use the polycrylic that you would use like for your glitter ornaments. And I seal my chunky glitter, but I'm going to do that on this one now that it's drying. And it helps to lay down your chunky glitter so you don't use as much epoxy to cover it. Because I know, like, with chunky glitter, it's pretty difficult to really cover it without using a ton of epoxy, and I don't like to have to sand over it too much because I feel like it kind of dulls it, kind of takes away from it, especially if you're sanding on a thin layer of epoxy. It can kind of turn your glitter white, so I don't really like that. But alright, so I'm going to use the Quick Coat now. I'm going to put it in another cup. This is, if you didn't see it before, I'm using the Quick Coat from Counterculture DIY. This is also the epoxy that I'm using is from Counterculture DIY. It is their artist resin. That's the epoxy I've used. So, yeah, the chunky glitter does drink epoxy. That is like a great way to describe it. You just have to keep coating it and keep coating it and keep coating it. I use the spray sealer on the ultrafine glitter though. That helps, especially like because when I'm doing it this way, it helps. It helps to hold that in, which is so my alcohol ink didn't move all over the place. So here is my Quick Coat. I'm just going to use a foam brush. Yes, for sure. I learned the Quick Coat trick in a group. So when I do it, I just kind of haphazardly just put it on there. I'm not stingy with it. I just kind of dab it on. The foam brush will hold a lot of it, so you're going to just dab it on there. And you're going to see that your glitters will start to lay flat. And you're not going to lose your sparkle or the shimmer, so that's a good thing. That's a plus. If you use a really good high quality glitter, you shouldn't lose that sparkle. But this is just going to help keep it all in place, keep it all kind of pushed down, so I'm not using a gallon of epoxy to coat this cup here. So you can see the difference in the two. This one's a pearl mica shimmer base, and then this one is a glitter base. I'm not sure which one I like more. I really like the pearl on the bottom. It's the first one I did with pearl, or with a mica, not a glitter. So this is all you do. I just keep going over it to make sure I really coated it. If it starts to turn it like the right term here. Oh, cloudy. If it starts to turn it cloudy, it dries completely clear, so don't panic. If you brush it, it's going to look cloudy. I just like to dab it, and I mean, it just coats it. It'll kind of just move around. It kind of pools on there a little bit and then moves around, and it just makes everything sit nice and tight on that cup. I'll get the random piece of glitter off the rest of the cup. Don't worry, it's not stuck on there. You know me, I won't let that happen. These aren't stuck to anything, so they can move. She's always on the lookout for my random pieces of glitter that she sees. Always. That's what friends are for, right? You said you can use polycrylic instead. Yes, you can use the polycrylic for it as well. It works almost as, like, pretty much the same way as the quick coat does. I have some of that. You can use this. You know, the jack of all trades in the crafting world, glitter ornaments, everything. So you can use this. This will work the same way. This is water-based polycrylic protective finish, and it's going to do the same thing. It's just going to kind of, I want to say matte your glitter down, but I don't, because that'll make it sound like it's going to dull it, but it doesn't dull. It just holds it there in place. So it's just going to make it stick. Make it so you're not losing a bunch when you glitter, because I know, like, if you've ever glittered a super chunky epoxy cup, when you know, spread your epoxy, your glitter goes with it sometimes. So this prevents that from happening as well. So yeah, that's that. That is how I make my glitter geodes for my cups. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. You can message me here or in the Facebook group. And if you guys like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Alex, so I don't know the right answer to that. You just wait till it's dry. If it's dry to the touch and it's not sticky, it's not, you can't feel it, then you're ready to epoxy. I let this one turn overnight just because I finished it before I went to bed. So this one I'll let spin for probably, you know, just a few hours until I know that it's dry. I can come over here and touch it, and I'm not gonna pull any glitter. I'm not gonna risk mixing the wet quick coat with the epoxy, because that wouldn't work well. Yeah, it will. It for sure will depend on how much you use. I can let this dry and I can tell you how long it takes. I'll keep an eye on it for the rest of the day and update you with that. So yes, but like I said, make sure you like this video, give it a thumbs up if you watched, if you enjoyed it. If you have questions, let me know. And if this works out and you guys are all fans, we'll have to do some more Tumbler lives. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.